I'm so excited to welcome everybody to the Tom Clements Better Government Awards. Especially, we're blessed to have the presence of Tom's family, his wife, Lisa, his daughters, Sarah and Rachel. Thanks for joining us virtually. And thank you all for being with us here today and helping us carry forward the incredible values that Sarah and Rachel, your father, and Lisa, your husband, really elevated in the state of Colorado. The Tom Clements Better Government Awards are an important tradition that honors the legacy of a man who dedicated himself to public service and a transformative vision of the corrections system, one of redemption, one of second chances, one that utilized data to drive decisions and improve our system, something that
said 90 people
every day. He worked to bring that vision to the state of Colorado, creating a culture of innovation and excellence that permeates state government, and his legacy is very much alive here. Tom was government, he saw potential, making a difference in people's lives for bettering our community, worked to make that a global pandemic that put our public health system to the test, impacted our economy. And despite these challenges, and in fact, rising to these challenges, our state employees have really risen to the occasion and gone above and beyond. Many state employees, like other Coloradans, were forced to juggle working from home while supporting their children as they learn remotely. Other state employees, because of the nature of their jobs, continued showing up every day to deliver essential services that as a state we rely on. Many put in more hours than ever before. Coloradans in our time of need. And traditionally, we honor winners in two categories: outstanding service in government and outstanding innovation in government, two things that Tom valued highly and that we need more of, especially in this time. This year, given extraordinary circumstances, we added a third category, pandemic response. And of course, I hope this is the only year that we give an award and recognize that category. Today's award winners represent the very best of what we can accomplish and are accomplishing here in the state of Colorado. They truly live up to the high standard that Tom set and give us great hope for the future. I want to thank all the judges who volunteered their time and expertise to select today's exceptional winners. The judges: Lisa Clements, Brian Elms, Nita Gonzalez, and Rico Munn. I know it wasn't an easy task, and I appreciate their thoughtfulness and their time and their effort. Also, like members of my cabinet, innovative and effective folks in state government. Today's winners are exceptional, but you know what? All the nominees were exceptional, every single one. I'm proud the Colorado state government is all worthy of this recognition and more. Before I turn it over, I also want to thank our legislators who are in attendance today. I know they're busy preparing for the upcoming session, but I appreciate them taking time out of their busy days to help honor and celebrate with us today. Now I'm proud to turn it over to my Chief of Staff, Lisa Kaufman. Lisa.
Over to me, or you're turning over to Ben?
Okay, I'll turn it over to Ben Henderson, our Deputy, our Chief of Operations.
Great, thank you so much, Governor. So it's my pleasure today to be part of this organization and be part of this award ceremony, especially one that's honoring such an incredible man. Director Tom Clements was really the ultimate public servant. He believed in service and he believed in the value of helping others. I never had the chance to meet Tom personally, but from what I hear, he was very good at that, very good at helping others. He was passionate about making things better every day and really believed in the power of data and evidence and making that happen. I know we're going to spend some more time hearing from Tom's family later today and about his phenomenal legacy that still lives on. I mean, I think my team spends their time focusing on things that Tom focused on his entire career. Good public service, using data and evidence, and really trying to make things better, both for our employees and for those we serve. I did just want to touch on some housekeeping items. It's weird being here in a virtual space, but this is still a great chance to celebrate. And so I ask that when we do announce the winners and go through that, we'll use our American Sign Language a little bit we can do applause this way so we can all see each other, clap, and celebrate each other. We do have awards, they're in the mail, but as we work through it, everyone will be getting a paperweight like this. And I think it'll be something that really commemorates the hard work of this past year, which was certainly a struggle in a lot of ways, but for those same reasons, there's still a lot to celebrate. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Lisa Kaufman.
Thanks, Ben. I have the honor of giving the first annual Chief of Staff Award for Excellence in Operations to Public Safety. And, you know, all of our state employees have really stepped up in the global pandemic, going remote at the drop of a hat in March, scaling up technology, supporting our communities, you know, an unprecedented effort to get unemployment insurance out, supporting vaccine testing. It's been an intense year in all of our work, more intense and really tripled fold after the pandemic hit. We all had our normal workloads plus, and, you know, state employees have really just stepped up, and it's really made the state of Colorado's response to the pandemic excellent. And, you know, one of the most important decisions I think had been made in this year was really pulling together public safety and CDPHE to jointly respond to the pandemic. And that structure has really served the state of Colorado well. And I just couldn't possibly say enough about the leadership team at both CDPHE and public safety. But if a global pandemic wasn't enough crises to respond to, we also had a historic record year on wildfires. We had civic unrest throughout the summer and fall, in addition to having the pandemic. And, you know, every step of the way, public safety really stepped up and took care of the state of Colorado and really embodied the culture of one team, one fight, working together to make Colorado safer. And so I wanted to make sure that we recognize all of their work, not just on the pandemic, but on all of these crises that the state has faced and their steadfast leadership that has pulled us through the toughest times this year. So, you know, I want to talk about a little bit about Kevin Klein, who manages the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Kevin has been an important strategic voice in the pandemic response. He also manages part of the Emergency Operations Center, which was the longest activation in history with the pandemic response and the wildfires. He helped coordinate our early day, you know, efforts to get PPE when that was a shortage. He helped stand up multiple alternative care facilities and is playing a role in the vaccine distribution, all while doing his day job of managing the emergency management system in the state. Also want to talk about Chief Packard, who has worked 24/7 to protect the safety of all Coloradans in the face of multiple bouts of civil unrest this year, providing security to the Capitol, and obviously wildland fire support, and all while doing his day job of making sure that our highways are safe. Also want to talk about John Camper, who leads the Colorado Bureau of Investigations. We've had unprecedented amount of unemployment insurance fraud, and he has been involved in that effort to get justice on that front. We've had a historic volume of firearms background check, over 500,000 in 2020, which is compared to last year, which was about 350,000. Just a tremendous increase in workload. And he has, like all of public safety, risen to the occasion. And of course, the Colorado Division of Fire Prevention and Control, directed by Mike Morgan. We faced a historic both length and severity of fires this year. And Mike and his team, you know, just courageous effort to protect our communities. I'm particularly grateful for Mike and his team as many of you know, I live in Lyons, Colorado, which at one point was surrounded by 2 different fires, and the efforts to contain those fires was just amazing. And of course, the Division Director for Criminal Justice, directed by Joe Tomey, who helps lead internal budget efforts, reimagining community corrections, lead on sentencing reform, and also help launch the human trafficking awareness campaign. And then, of course, I would be remiss to not talk directly about Jana Locke and Stan Hilke. Jana, our Deputy Executive Director. Jana has basically been running public safety for the last year on a day-to-day basis, with Stan being freed up to really focus on our COVID response and the other crises as they had arisen. And Jana's ability to continue ensuring this team delivers excellence and running the day-to-day operation is just a huge service to the state, as Stan's leadership in both the COVID response and all of these crises was just instrumental in the state of Colorado's excellent response on all fronts. So we owe a huge debt of gratitude to Jana and Stan and their leadership and their personal sacrifice. We know that this is a sacrifice for not yourself, but you're also your families, to be putting in these long hours in service to your state. And so we thank you for all of those efforts. And I want to turn it over to Stan.
Lisa, thank you so much. This award means so much to public safety, and I'll explain why in a minute. But before I do that, I just want to tell everybody that's on this video call today that I got to know Tom Clements when I was a sheriff in Mesa County, Colorado, and we were engaged in a evidence-based decision-making effort in regards to how we manage people that are incarcerated in our system. And I felt very aligned with Tom and his thinking on things. And I actually ran into him and had lunch with him in January of 2013 at the fly fishing show in Denver, and sat down, had this opportunity to talk about the work that he was doing, and explained to him that my job as a sheriff had a shelf life, and that I was interested in working for somebody in a mission and had the ideals that he had. And we agreed that after the fly fishing show and as I got closer to the end of my term as sheriff, that we would come back together and talk about any opportunities that I may have to go work for Tom, which would have been just an amazing step in my career, I'm sure. And I've always regretted that I didn't get that opportunity, Lisa. Thank you for, everything that you and your family and Tom contributed to Colorado. We appreciate it very much. I just want to say a little bit about this award for public safety. It means a lot to us. One of our big strategic priorities is we talk about, while we have 6 divisions, we talk about wanting to be one CDPS. While many of our divisions are very diverse in their mission, we have a commonality, in that when we all work together, we believe that we're safer together. And that has been our tagline. We're lucky as a department and as an organization, and having been in the public safety business for, pushing close to 40 years, I'll tell you, it is a special thing to be able to work in a place where the organization itself is self-actualized and lives its mission. And we really strive, to help everybody understand in the department that they contribute. So this award to the entire department means a lot to us, because we know that while a trooper or a firefighter or a CBI investigator or whoever has that front-facing job that they make TV shows about, none of that could ever work without all of the support of everyone behind it. We even give the inmates this speech, in our logistics session, who are washing the cars, that you are contributing to the image of our department and the work that you're doing and the safety of it. And so this is special to us, Lisa and Governor. We appreciate it so much. It is in alignment with our one CDPS strategic priority. And we are so grateful that we have the opportunity to do this kind of work. We feel like we're at the best during crisis, which has given us a lot of opportunity this last year for sure. But I would also say that we share this with our partners at Public Health, at the governor's office, and the other executive branch agencies. It has been, an honor of our lifetime to be able to work alongside all of you. And just want to say thank you one more time. We appreciate it.
Dan. And then it's my distinct honor to introduce Lisa Clements. Lisa's been a great partner to our team since the beginning of our administration. And, it's worth noting, while today is about Tom and what he has brought to the state of Colorado and the service that he committed to, Lisa herself is also a dedicated public servant who has served state government in Colorado in human services. And we just want to make sure we also honor her past service and thank her for bringing this award to our state and encouraging us to continue to improve and innovate in honor of Tom. And I would just, say that I'd be remiss to not say something a little bit more personal about Lisa. I do a lot of hard meetings in this job and we make hard decisions every day. Some of the hardest meetings I think I've had is really sitting with Lisa and her daughter, Rachel, and really, sitting with their loss and the pain of losing Tom. And what always shines through throughout all of our tough meetings that we've had is their commitment to the state of Colorado and their commitment to public service, and their commitment to public service through even just the worst tragedy anyone could imagine for their family, never wavers. It's a remarkable thing, and it's an inspiring thing to just be so committed to serving others and to continue on that work even throughout personal tragedy. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you for inspiring us all, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for those comments, and Governor, for your continued support of this award. I think one of the challenges when you lose someone in the line of duty is that there is significant sort of fanfare at the time, and there's a lot of ceremony and tremendous support and acknowledgement. And then with each year that passes, fewer and fewer people know that person. And so fewer of you know Tom than in the last year and the year before that the ceremony was held. I see people, on this Zoom that are really represent my past life in state government here in Colorado. Key, I see you on the Zoom. I see, so many people from other agencies, Director Bimstuffer, other folks that I have worked with over these years. And I am just so very grateful for your participation. I have watched, obviously from a distance, but watched the challenges that state government has faced and that you as individuals have faced in this last year. And I personally am really glad to put 2020 behind me. It was seriously tough. That said, and my gratitude to each of you, Tom and I moved to Colorado 10 years ago, actually, in January. And we had spent our lives in public service in Missouri prior, and certainly were just thrilled to start our lives again in Colorado. Tom was passionate about public service. He loved what he did and spent his career in supporting not only the men and women that worked alongside him within his field and throughout state government, but also his belief, as Governor Polis mentioned, in redemption and the opportunity for each one of us, just shy of a really bad mistake, to take a completely different trajectory in our lives. And he loved, as some have mentioned, using data to do that. If you you talk to either of the girls, they would give you stories about being forced to provide data for things like, wanting to buy puppies or why they should be able to go out with a guy that he didn't really like. And so that was a huge part of his life. But more than anything, he was a student of leadership. And I wanted to, and by way of acknowledgement today, and really giving credit to the people who work in the state of Colorado every day, just giving it their all, I wanted to close with a quote by Colin Powell. And Colin Powell was someone that Tom, read often and enjoyed, and I'm sure gave books to his staff about. But he says, organization doesn't really accomplish anything. Plans don't accomplish anything either. Theories of management don't much matter. Endeavors succeed or fail because of the people involved. Only by attracting the best people will you accomplish great deeds. And I so thank the public servants of Colorado represented on this Zoom, and thank you for the service that you're offering every day. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It's great to hear more about Tom, and it sounds a lot like my own father, who used to make me do assignments on consumer reports, and I had to purchase anything. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Governor Diane Primavera, who will announce the honorable mentions in our Tom Clements Award categories.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you everyone for participating in today's awards. This is truly an opportunity for each of us to be reminded of what it means to serve. And I'll never forget the day we found out when I was on the House floor about Tom's death. You always remember where you were in certain really tragic situations. So Tom Clements committed his life, as we've heard, to serving others, creating hope for his colleagues and for those who found themselves in Colorado's corrections system. His passion for creating a more just and data-driven criminal justice system didn't only benefit the Colorado Department of Corrections, it expanded far beyond. Tom was an innovator, and he believed that state government could be more and could do more for everyone in Colorado. And that by harnessing creativity and using data, we could find new, efficient solutions to some of our most pressing problems. And that's really what these awards are all about. Here in Colorado, I never cease to be amazed at the quality of work happening across our state agencies. We have a lot to be proud of, and I know that choosing today's award winners was not an easy process. So I want to shed a little more light on the nomination and selection process. Each year, agencies have the opportunity to submit applications highlighting an individual or a team accomplishment that elevates the performance of state government in two different categories: outstanding service in government and outstanding innovation in government. So we'll hear more about the criteria for each of these categories from a special guest later on. Departments can submit one application per category, and these submissions are then approved by cabinet members and reviewed by a panel of volunteer judges consisting of nonprofit partners and business leaders. So I want to take a moment to echo the governor's words and thank these judges for their time and commitment to supporting excellence in state government. The panel then evaluates the applications based on how data was used to drive innovation and deliver outstanding service to Coloradoans. So in just a little bit, you'll hear more about today's award winners, but I'd like to take a moment to congratulate the outstanding awardees who've been selected for honorable mention. So in the category of outstanding service in government, I'm excited to congratulate Nate Wolowitz, Regional Broadband Director at the Department of Local Affairs, and Cheryl Petrosi, Nurse Case Manager at the Department of Corrections, for their honorable mention. Nate worked to secure the broadband connection between Granby and Estes Park during the Cameron Peak fire, ensuring that Estes Park would have communication abilities even if fiber lines were damaged at the fire spread. We all know that Colorado faced the worst fire season in the history of our state. And without communication, these towns could have been cut off, harming response and fire suppression efforts. Cheryl worked to ensure that Coloradoans in our correctional system can have a more seamless transition back into our communities with the support of the Medicaid benefits they relied on while incarcerated. And due to her work, between 95 and 99% of offenders are eligible to receive Medicaid every month and the health care that they need. So congratulations to both of you, and thank you for being leaders in our state. And in the we want to do some clapping, Ben? In the category of outstanding innovation in government, I want to congratulate Ron Simonhouse, a physical scientist researcher at the Department of Natural Resources and the Department of Regulatory Agencies, electrical and plumbing inspectors. So Ron developed a system that utilizes cameras installed at weather stations to read snow depths and developed an algorithm to process the images and extract data that is communicated to avalanche forecasters in near real time. Sadly, this has been a tragic week as 15 Americans have lost their lives in avalanches, and 4 of them, very sadly, in Eagle County. But technology like this makes it safer for travelers, CDOT personnel, and those looking to recreate. So congratulations to Ron. The regulatory agency's electrical and plumbing inspectors developed a remote inspection program to conduct residential electrical and plumbing inspections remotely through virtual technology. So now talk about innovation. This is one of many examples of how we've adapted to ensure that state government services continue to be provided even during this pandemic, but in a way that is safe for staff and Coloradoans alike. So this group includes Inspector Supervisor Michael Frenzy, Director of Investigations and Inspections, Kevin Huff, Program Director Cheryl Ruiz Lucero, and Deputy Director for Legal Affairs, Karen McGovern. So congratulations on all of your incredible work. So in conclusion, thank you for joining us all today. Now I'm happy to turn it back over to Governor Polis.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor, for your words. And many of you may not know, Lieutenant Governor also was a state employee for many years as well. We have a very special guest that will present today's awards. It's a Colorado musician, widely known for outstanding live performances, which we can't wait to see again in concert and in big crowds when it's safe. I'm so proud to introduce Nathaniel Rateliff to present the award for outstanding service in government. Nathaniel. Nathaniel? Surprise, no Nathaniel. No, just kidding. We'll try one more time. Nathaniel, you here?
And we have a video recording of Nathaniel Rateliff announcing the award winners. I think we just have a couple technical difficulties bringing up that video.
So should we see later?
Well, to get to a place where we can make space for those conversations, but I think as you were mentioning earlier,
Here we go. Looks like it's coming up now.
Songwriter from right here in Colorado. Thank you, Governor Polis and Lieutenant Governor Primavera, for inviting me to this exciting event. I feel so lucky to call Colorado home, and I'm grateful to all the hardworking state employees who make Colorado such a great place to live. Everything that you do, from preserving our beautiful natural lands and supporting our most vulnerable communities, truly exemplifies selfless public service and the honor and the legacy of Director Tom Clements. With that said, it is my deepest honor to introduce this year's recipients, the Tom Clements Better Government Awards. Tom Clements dedicated 30 years of public service as an executive director of the Colorado Department of Corrections. He ensured the safety and security and the humane operation of correctional facilities. This first award recognizes a team for their achievement and outstanding service. This team embodies the values of public service. As the first step in building a culture of operational excellence, The Outstanding Service Award highlights this team's many accomplishments that have delivered meaningful improvements for the people of Colorado. I am thrilled to present this year's Outstanding Service Award to the Department of Human Services Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program team. Compliance Management Evaluation Specialist Megan Herdlicka, Education and Outreach Coordinator Mia Donley, and Education and Outreach Administrator Max Young. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Megan, Mia, and Max volunteered to support and eventually led the implementation of the pandemic electronic benefit transfer program to ensure hundreds of thousands of Colorado children did not go hungry during this crisis. Going far above and beyond their typical workloads, the team worked between 50 and 60 hours each week for 3 months to perfect this life-changing program. The long hours and dedication certainly paid off, resulting in a mass expansion of food assistance to those in need. In total, the families of more than 180,000 children were provided an additional $50 million. Thank you for all you do to improve the lives of Coloradans.
Well, thank you, Nathaniel. What a great presentation, and just deeply appreciate that. And I want to congratulate Mia Donley, Megan Herdlicka, and Max Young. I'm happy to open it up for the SNAP team for anybody who'd like to say a few words.
Hi, this is Max. I'd be happy to say a few words and would like to. I'm actually speaking on behalf of Mia and Megan. We wanted to extend our appreciation to start with to Tom's family. We recognize that Tom, his loss is a family member loss to your home and to your family. It was also a loss to our state leadership. And we want to say that we will be forever connected to you and to your family and to Tom's legacy. And this is an opportunity for us to uplift his name and remember him. And so we're very appreciative of this opportunity. We also wanted to extend our appreciation to CDHS and to the leadership at CDHS, in particular, the Office of Economic Security and the Food and Energy Assistance Division. Without the leaders who run these divisions and offices, none of this work would be possible. And we see this as a collective award for all of us in our teams who worked hard to make sure people were fed. We're very grateful for this award and for this opportunity. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Max. Now we have Nathaniel is going to present the award for Outstanding Innovation in Government. Nathaniel?
Through the implementation of evidence-based practices. This next award category honors Tom's values of operational excellence and recognizes outstanding data-driven innovation with Colorado state government. It is my great pleasure to introduce the winners of the 2020 Outstanding Innovation in Government Award to the leaders of the Residential Care Strike Team. Director of the Office of Community Living at the Department of Healthcare Policy and Financing, Bonnie Silva. Director of the Healthcare Facility and EMS Division of the Department of Public Health and Environment, Randy Kirkendall. As the country grappled with the emergency of COVID-19 and the realization of the disproportionate impact on older Coloradans, especially those that live in congregate care settings, Colorado responded quickly with the formation of the Residential Care Strike Team. This team, co-led by Bonnie and Randy, is composed of the cross-state agency leadership with the goal of mitigating the spread of COVID-19 in nursing facilities, assisted living residents, group homes, and intermediate care facilities. Their management of complex multi-department cooperation serves as a national example of effective governing practices.
Well, thank you. And we have from the Residential Care Strike Team, Bonnie Silva and Randy Kirkendall. And we know that our older Coloradans have been at particular risk this last year, especially those that are nursing homes and long-term care facilities. And the work of Bonnie and Randy and their team has reduced the spread of the virus and really directly saved lives. So I'm happy to turn it over to Bonnie and Randy to say a few words.
Thank you, Governor Polis, and thank you so much for this recognition. I would like to just say a few words, and first to the family of Tom Clements. Please know that it is an honor of a lifetime to know that our work in some way reflects the dedication and passion that he brought to public service. But of course, there are many others who deserve share in this award. So I would like to first and foremost thank my family for always offering encouragement when I needed it the most. To the governor's office staff for your foresight in creating a true cross-state agency team. To my partner in leading this work, Randy, thank you so much for always being so calm and offering insightful perspective in even the most challenging of circumstances. To my boss, Kim, for inspiring me and for being a mentor that uses your voice to amplify others. To my colleagues at Healthcare Policy and Financing, my thanks to you for stepping in so that I had the opportunity to effectively step up. And to my partners at Public Health and Environment, thank you for lending me your deep expertise so that I could navigate this public health crisis. And man, to the members of the strike force, it is your tenacity and your heart and your perseverance that made this critical work really lead to saving lives. It has been a privilege to work alongside each of you. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank the residents and their families and the essential frontline workers who support them. They have worked so hard to fight this pandemic while also watching their loved ones become critically ill and tragically, in some cases, pass away. From my perspective, they are the true heroes that will emerge from this pandemic, and it is for them that our work must continue. So in closing, really, thank you. This is an honor to receive award in the name of Tom Clements, and my sincere appreciation to each of you from the bottom of my heart. And I know that my partner, Randy, would also like to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Bonnie, and thank you, Governor Polis. I will be brief. I want to say, first of all, absolutely thank you, and I am deeply, deeply humbled to receive an award under Tom's name. I had the privilege of meeting him a couple of times while he was the director of the Department of Corrections, and it's an honor to be recognized in the same at the same level as Director Clements. I want to first of all say thank you to the professionals that make up the strike team. I've spent my entire adult life in healthcare, and I have never seen so many challenges of such an enemy to fight in our healthcare system as this has been, and as we continue that fight. And to pull together the professionals of multiple state agencies, as well as those individuals and professionals outside of state government, demonstrate the power that we can achieve within government when we all work together. I want to thanks very, very much sincerely to the healthcare facility inspectors that make up the health facilities and EMS division. I think it's important to note that at no time during this pandemic did our inspectors stop inspecting facilities. They took the risks, even at times when we were short on PPE, to see to it that infection control inspections took place. And they've conducted over 2,000 of those surveys over the past year, well over 2,000. So my thanks and everlasting gratitude to the people that I have the privilege of serving and leading. And then finally, certainly my thanks to Bonnie. Bonnie has been the spark plug that has kept us on track and kept us moving. She can get a meeting done on time, which I struggle with from time to time. And then certainly last but not least, I'd like to thank my family and particularly my wife for her putting up with the long hours that since I have taken over the dining room of our house for the foreseeable future. So it's been a privilege. It continues to be a privilege, We're not there yet, and we're going to continue moving forward. Thank you so very much.
And please, Randy and Bonnie, convey to your team the gratitude of the state, and thank you both for the amazing work. Back over to Nathaniel to present the Pandemic Response Reward.
"2020 presented unprecedented challenges for Colorado state employees as they worked tirelessly to mitigate the negative impacts of the pandemic. The judges were particularly impressed by all the nominations submitted, which were connected directly to the Colorado State COVID-19 response. In this year of first, we would like to award the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment COVID Leadership Team for their outstanding work in responding to COVID-19 crisis. Scott Bookman, Emily Travanti, Rachel Hurley, Sarah Thunberg, Jessica Bralish, Ann Haas, Mara Brosi Wuchar, Joy Simpson, Eric France, Jameson Lee, Rachel Jervis, Mike Nugent, and Diana Herrero. I'm sure that I am in broad company in saying thank you for all your steadfast dedication to the people of Colorado during this challenging time and the sacrifices you have made to improve and protect the lives of others.
Congratulations, Pandemic Response Team. As I said, I hope this is the only year we have to give this award. This is really a challenge that none of us, the world didn't see coming, and our state is better off because of the work that you do. Long hours. Appreciate all of your work these last 12 months, saving lives, slowing disease transmission, mitigating the impact on the economy. I think we have several representatives here from the Pandemic Response Team. We have Sarah Thunberg, we have Joy Simpson, and we have Scott Bookman. And we'll turn it over to them to say a few words. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I'm Sarah Thunberg, and in April of 2014, my brother was murdered. And just a few months after that, in the real depths of the loss of that, I had the honor and pleasure of meeting you, Lisa. And you and I shared a really tender moment about me being Sarah with a sister, Rachel, and that feeling really nice to all of us. And you also told me to find the love that was deep, deep in the pain and the loss and the anger I was really struggling with, and to find that really pure love for my brother and let that drive me forward to do good things for the world. And so here I am, and I have done that. And it was partly the incredible kindness and generosity and space you made for me in that moment that helped me find strength to go on and to do incredible work in service of Coloradans. And so I'm really honored to be here with you and Sarah and Rachel. I feel deep affinity to you all and your family. And I am really proud of the work that I was able to do this year together with this exceptional team at CDPHE. There are lots of us here, but there are lots of us who are not here, who have dedicated 12 and 14-hour days, 7 days a week for 9 months to be in service to Coloradans and to do it in an evidence-based way that I think Tom would have been really, really proud of. And I think he would have been proud of the effort and the care and the thoughtfulness and the innovation that we have in Colorado in our COVID response. So thank you so much. Thanks for allowing me to come full circle as a person and to do that in service of Coloradans in this time. It's a huge honor, and I'm just so grateful. And I am going to pass it to my colleague, Scott Bookman.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you. It is an absolute honor to accept this award on behalf of a huge team. And I think that, the COVID-19 response has really been an all-of-state effort. And, picking just a few people to receive this award, we have to look broadly here. And whether it's our healthcare providers who have been on the front lines of this since March, our laboratory scientists who have been working round the clock to protect us, our epidemiologists who have done such incredible work in protecting all Coloradans. Our fiscal team has pushed $1 billion through our agency in the space of 1 year. We have more than doubled the size of CDPHE just for the COVID response. This has required innovation. It has required teamwork every single step of the way. And so while we certainly agree with Governor Polis that we hope we never have to give this award again, it is an incredible honor to use all of our skills to protect Coloradans every single day. And so to the Clements family, thank you for this opportunity, and to everyone who has been part of this team, thank you for all of your tireless work for the last year. Thank you.
What an amazing team, and thank you. I also want to recognize the leadership of CDPHE's Executive Director, Jill Ryan, who's on with us again today. Throughout this pandemic, she's helped guide the response with a steady hand, willing to make sure we're doing everything in our power to keep people safe and reducing impact on people's livelihoods. So I want to thank Jill for that work, as well as the pandemic response team that we're honoring today. Nathaniel Raycliffe, thank you for joining us today. Everyone here who helped make these awards happen. Though we can't be together in person, we will next year. And of course, we're not going to, a pandemic won't stop us from honoring Tom Clements' legacy and celebrate the amazing work that Colorado State employees are stepping up and doing. Next year, we'll be together and again commemorating a new cohort of winners. But on behalf of the entire state, I want to thank and congratulate today's recipients, and of course, all of our honorable mentions, all of whom were, of course, completely deserving of this recognition as well. The help that you provide to your fellow Coloradans, to our colleagues, for that help, we are so grateful. As we look to the future of our state, we can see a light at the end of the tunnel of this pandemic. And I know this last year hasn't been easy, but through it all, we've been together. We're going to get through this together. And on behalf of the state of Colorado, a hearty thank you to every state employee. And of course, through those who we recognize today, we celebrate everybody who's gone above and beyond. And of course, we celebrate the life of Tom Clement. Thank you all for joining us.